Oh, you draw? That's a nice hobby. Hobby? No. I make a living with drawing. Oh really? I didn't know you can make a living with drawing. What's up guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Alexander and today we're gonna debunk one of the greatest myths in the world. You can make money with drawing. Lots of money. Just like everybody, artists need to make money. But in my experience, most creatives aren't comfortable talking about money. And that's because there's a huge misconception that anything creative is for fun. And business or money shouldn't be fun. It should be very, very serious. Well, that's absolutely not true. I consider myself an artist and I've worked with multiple Fortune 500 companies in which I use drawing. Art, drawing, or creativity are highly undervalued in our society. Take companies like Google, Apple, and Tesla. They are successful because they are constantly innovating, for which they need creative minds. In other words, you. If you draw, you've probably got a creative mind and thus could be of value for those companies. But you're probably wondering, how does portrait drawing, figure drawing, illustration, or concept art add value to those companies? Which brings us to the question, how do artists make money with drawing? When I was 5 years old, I wanted to be an architect because I thought that was the only place where you could make a living with drawing. I knew you could be an illustrator, but that would mean you'd be poor. But that's not the case, and there are so much more options than becoming an illustrator or an architect. You can be a graphic designer, concept artist, landscape artist. The options are endless. Endless, but still we assume that if you want to draw, you probably end up in the creative sector. Take Bob. Bob loves drawing. He probably can work as an illustrator, concept artist, maybe as an architect, but that's it, right? He can't get a job in finance, consultancy, or education.
What the hell is wrong with you people?
Wrong. You can make money with drawing anywhere, in any sector. You can draw as a consultant, as a teacher, as a manager, as a CEO, as an accountant, as a planner, anything. We just need to approach it with a different perspective and call it visual thinking. Visual thinking! Visual thinking isn't really different from all the other forms of drawing, but the term better represents the value of drawing. It's so simple, but to explain the value of visual thinking, we need to look at how communication works. Communication is nothing more than two people trying to understand each other. The bigger this middle section is, the more they understand each other. You can increase that area by writing an email, calling, having a meeting, graphs, or a drawing. You can imagine that the more varied your message is, the easier it is for someone else to understand your message, because we all communicate in a different way. Now, since a drawing includes images and texts, it's a more effective way of communicating than just text, which means that an email or text will have this effect on understanding each other. But drawing or visual thinking will have this effect. A drawing can convey more in a shorter amount of time. And because time is money, it's also interesting from a business perspective. And besides that, an email conveys information, but a drawing conveys information and emotion. And that is a very powerful message. That's right, you as an artist have the skill to convey more than just information, which is of immense value. Let's take the example of Apple. They've got thousands of people working all over the world. Those people have different cultural backgrounds, use different languages, have different definitions for words, different opinions. Everything is different. It's pretty hard making sure all those people think and work in a way that is consistent with the company. But it's pretty easy to have miscommunication, misunderstanding, frustration, and riots. Apple wants to prevent riots, obviously, so they try to communicate in a way which is understandable for everybody. That's where you come in. I used to do this type of work for 4 years and work with multiple Fortune 500 companies like Heineken, AkzoNobel, IKEA, ING, UNDP, etc. Mostly big companies with thousands of employees around the world, and all those employees need to be aligned. So a visual can be of real added value. And artists don't need to be poor. Take this visual for example. This is something we would make for our clients. You see those green circles? These are steps in the process. On the left you can see that this process happens at multiple places simultaneously. And underneath you can see a green road with people supporting the process. And this is all focused to make the client happy. Our clients would place these drawings in their office and use it during a meeting or put it on desktops. Imagine getting a comic or a drawing instead of a boring newsletter. Isn't that something to look forward to? Before I started working there, I didn't even know this type of work existed, but it was loads of fun. Does this job sound fun to you? Let me know in the comments below. And using visual thinking isn't confined to organizations alone. It's growing in popularity and you can see it everywhere. If we look at Google Trends, you can see that the word visual thinking is growing in popularity. And if you open up Instagram, there are these doodles that share thoughts on mindset, like this one by Liz and Molly. And although it's super simple, they got 500,000 subscribers. Which proves people like drawings, even simple drawings. Maybe the saying, an image says more than 1,000 words is true? If you're an artist and you like to make rendered illustrations or draw dynamic poses, that's totally fine. But understand that your doodles can also be of immense value. And I'm convinced you got the skill to do this. Otherwise, you wouldn't be watching this video. Now you might recognize this, but since I'm a kid, I make these small doodles next to notes. But I never thought those doodles were actually worth a dime. If you doodle, that probably means you also think visually. And that means that you can make money with drawing. Remember, there are tons of ways to earn a living with drawing. Just be sure to get clear on how you'd like to earn a living. Nowadays, I work as a teacher, and whenever I need to explain something difficult to my students, I use visual thinking on the whiteboard. And apart from getting a better understanding of the content of what I'm trying to explain, they also enjoy the process of looking at a drawing. So whatever form you use, whether that's talking, writing, or drawing, it's just a form of communication. And use the one that suits you best. If you can find a way to make these two circles overlap more, you've got a highly valuable skill. Please don't underestimate the value of visual thinking. Those small doodles in the corner of your notebook are of immense value. Now, if you'd like to know more, check out my website. But I'm curious, is this a job that would be suitable for you? Or are you the type of artist that would prefer to work in the creative sector? Let me know in the comments below. But for now, I want to thank you for watching and have an awesome day. Bye-bye. Please don't underestimate the value of visual information. Then just text. Fuck my life.